Oh, okay. All right. I hope you guys can actually hear this. Let me just do a test to check that okay. Okay, good. And okay, so I guess the stream's starting now. Yeah, I was just looking at my stream. So okay, let's see. What is that Xanderhal video? Right. If I say I had that tab on. What is that tab? Ah, okay, here it is. Okay, so pretty much, Sandoval did a video on basically some of you may have heard on that Ana Kasparian is pretty much had some like a lot of controversies lately, mainly relating like to the trans issue, but on a few others as well. She even talked a bit about Carl Rittenhouse, actual justice warrior, showed how she was complaining about some of the green environmental like policies in, I think, her like state that she lives in. There are a lot of things, oh, and crime as well. But like overall, this has led to a perception that Anis Kasparian is leaving the left in a similar vein to Dave Rubin. They're actually even calling her a grifter if they haven't already. And one of these lefties is Sanderhal, who I personally think he's one of the less annoying socialist streamers. But well, here we have this video, so it's going to be interesting. The funny thing is, Sanderhal, I think, hates a ton of lefties. Surprisingly, and then we'll start the stream since I have to like leave soon. I was meant to go to gym, but like I woke up late, so I thought I'd do a stream instead. But I have to like leave for like an errand with my like my brother and mom. But well, let's just start the video. I mean, stream.
All right, everybody. So, the Young Turks, for a very long time, was one of, if not the biggest organization online advocating for progressive values. Like, you know how the right has the Daily Wire, Blaze TV, the fucking Louder with Crowder show is like a whole organization. Alex Jones is his own organization.
I don't know, I'd say TYT is like bigger. It's way older and such, but Daily Wire is more of a decent comparison. But even like the Daily Wire has like, I think surpassed like TYT. Yeah, but TYT hasn't grown much. But it used to be one of like the biggest like political like shows on like YouTube. I think it was the biggest like show on YouTube at one point. I'm not sure, but like it was something like that. I think something like in 2014 or something.
There's Dave Rubin's, like his own organization as well. All these people have their own organizations, their own compounds. Tim Pool, his own compound and organization. All these people have their own like spheres, Fresh and Fit, like all the podcast bro types from TikTok. All these people are massive and have the Daily Stormer. They have basically these huge companies that they run and a lot of money because there's a lot of
Oh
money.
wait, he said there was someone that's I don't know. I guess he equates right wingers and like normal right wingers and Nazis together. That's typical, I
Their
guess.
own like spheres, Fresh and Fit, like all the podcast bro types from TikTok. All these people are massive and have the Daily Stormer. They have basically these huge companies that they run and a lot of money because there's a lot of money in conservatism. They don't have.
Okay, when he says there's a lot of money in conservatism, he claims that it's a lot of like just big, what like not think tanks, but like big like conservative donors like the Koch brothers that like fund these conservative operations. As well, it's true that like they do fund it to an extent, like similar. I think also like Soros does a little bit of funding like to the left, but like both the right and the left online gets a bit of funding, but there is like I think there's a major reason why the online rights, YouTube, particularly on YouTube, are much bigger than and the online left for multiple reasons. I guess the first one is let's see. So let's look at the American market in particular. Uh, so in terms of news, the right wing has Fox News, and the left, I guess the center left, maybe slightly left of center, and the left wing to an extent have MSNBC, CNN, mainly, but also the others like ABC and CNB and CNBC to an extent. But they mainly have CNN, this kind of center left, and MSNBC, to an extent the left. But with that they have a lot of like news shows that like fill market for the left, but because of that, there's a lot of competition for like left wing consumers. In terms of on the right, at a time there was just like only Fox like news. Now it's changed a bit, and I guess I'll tell you why. But like at the time they had Fox News, it was conservatives. So like conservatives had like very little, products. Well, we're gonna like refer to like this news stuff as like products. I guess, and because of that, there was like Fox News, I'd say would have like an edge. They were more successful because they were kind of a monopoly in this market. What do you call it? Is it a monopoly? No, not monopoly. Oh, it was like monopolistic competition. How am I getting economical? um, and there was also the right wing like getting into like radio. They kind of had a monopoly there. But the reason the right wing was kind of successful in Fox News, or well, or relatively successful in Fox News and radio, is because there are very few providers of right wing media, because the barriers of entry were too high, and also because journalists tend to be like more left wing. But when it came to like YouTube, the barriers of entry were extremely low. You can just start a YouTube channel. All you need is like a laptop, a little bit of like a tech know-how, and you can start like a YouTube like channel, or a camera, and you can start a YouTube channel. Like, yeah. Okay, so because of that, the reason like the the right wing like relatively did much better on YouTube, what was because there was this like massive like conservative market that was mostly in Fox News and right wing radio, while the left wing like consumer market was split. Also, America's in some ways America's very left wing polling wise, but in terms of like the distribution, not a lot of, while in aggregate it America's left wing, but in terms of priorities uh, and in terms of an intersectional majority, most of America doesn't agree with most or all of the left's like policies. So there's a very like divided and splintering of like left, moderate left, and like center left like people. Sometimes even over minute issues, I guess. So like the left, that maybe would like be similar to like TYT strain of political strain, would maybe, I don't know, maybe be like 8% the full on like left people, and from that full on 8%, like maybe, I don't know, well, there would probably be like some socialists there as well. But yeah, the reason there isn't as much like TYT like media figures in the media as much, the Bernie bro types, is because they aren't as popular as like the, I don't know, Biden bros, I guess. And but the right wing like in America is a lot more like uniform. Uh, they're they're a lot less divided. Like they're diverse politically, but they know how to like unite better, or like tolerate different points of view. and I guess they and because of that, that's one of the reasons why they kind of act as like a as a consumer market. Like, used to be kind of a monopoly, but now YouTube's has basically increased competition for like right wing YouTubers, but for right wing like media figures, and that's why you're getting a lot of like big like right wing channels. They're doing relatively well because it's I don't know that I guess right wing like media figures are kind of catching up to left wing media figures, I guess. As like so that basically YouTube managed to tap into the right wing like consumer market basically. But also there is another thing. I think there's more demand for like conservative content, particularly the culture war and anti SJW stuff, which generates more clicks than I don't know, like talking about like Medicare for all. I guess because I hate to like just on my own side, but generally like the socially conservative like side is easier to espouse and is more culture was basically more interesting than like economics. Like there is like the culture war stuff that left us, but I don't know it's pretty easy to make fun of like SJWs. Oh, and hi Adam Alpha. Thanks for watching stream. But I guess I'll just resume.
The truth on their side. There's no money in spreading the truth. There's never been money in spreading the truth. Tell me one point in history in which spreading the truth has made people more money than spreading bullshit. Bullshit artists have always made more money than people spreading the truth. The truth doesn't sell, bullshit does.
I don't know. I guess that's a little bit true. Like people want to like you know hear what they want rather than what's actually true in life. Because so I guess that's kind of true, but that goes like both ways for like the right wing and the left wing. And but like I don't think just because money is involved that like it's not that profitable to like. I mean, I don't think it's you know that I mean, it will be harder to like reveal the truth, but a lot of like YouTubers as get donations from like their base, so like in a charitable sense, like a lot of like big time YouTubers are like rich off that. So hypothetically, if those YouTubers were like proclaiming the truth, like I don't know if one of these lefties believe that ContraPoints is like uh, is honest and like espousing the truth. Well, she's a very rich like YouTuber, so it's very profitable for her, or I guess, to be a socialist breadtuber, assuming socialism is the truth. Also, she has like news articles written about her that paints her in a very good light.
So, right-wing figures.
But like compared to like the right wing like has a very bad like rep among journalists and the media, like we're called like terrorists and stuff, racist, misogynist. Like it that can actually hurt us profit economically or in terms of profit. So I don't know there is like upsides and downsides to both the left and the right in terms of like the playing the media market.
Just have a lot more money and resources at their disposal. So something like TYT was very valuable to the left. Something with high
TYT also got like a ton of resources with like 20 million from like Buddy Romer. Jimmy Doe has been complaining about that. But for some reason, this section of the left didn't complain about that until it came to some mediocre minor like trans issue differences. It's very cringe and annoying. I like I understand if you're like hating on each other for like legitimate like differences, but for some reason the left didn't turn on turn on Ana Kasparian or Cenk Uygur when it came to the union stuff or such. I'll talk about that maybe a little bit later in the stream. But it's
high
annoying.
production value that looked like it had money behind it, consistent output of content, and decent coverage that was advocating for left-wing values. Outside of that, you've got the Majority Report, And that's pretty much it. Name another like on par with the Majority Report and TYT. David Pakman. Really? We're going to say David Pakman in his example with his takes on like Bolivia and Israel and Palestine. Secular talk. Kyle Kalinske is pretty fucking cringe. We're talking about internet stuff, Halsor. Kyle.
Yeah, I don't know much about like Israel or Palestine. I'm surprised. Well, David Pakman is definitely relatively like pro-Israel compared to the left. But I don't know his actual Israel position. I know, I know that like a lefty YouTuber responded to his Argentina video, like a real socialist, like communist, like so that would be interesting. I don't know much about it, but like there is some difference there that sort of know about.
Kalinske is pro-Russia. It's real.
Yeah, I would say he cocks to Russia. Like, I wouldn't say he's pro-Russia. I think he's more of a useful idiot. But that's something I would agree with, like Xanderhal on. Wait, let me just. Okay, right.
Really, only the Majority Report. Let's be honest. It's really only the Majority Report now.
That sounds sad. But I'll say this: the Majority Report does, I don't know, do the left a lot of good stuff. They do they do a lot of strawman arguments, but a lot of times as well, they do like steel man their opponents' arguments, and they often like go through some of the best arguments that the right has that are not like often commonly like responded to by the left, and they sometimes like do a very good job at like responding to them, even if I disagree with it, which is, I don't know, one of the reasons why I think they're pretty popular and more useful than the Young Turks and more competent than the Young Turks. And actually, Xanderhal himself says it, and this is from someone who doesn't like Sam Seder.
Okay, all these examples you could possibly give up or bring up, they all have one major thing in common. They all do the populist Nazgul grift. And unfortunately, it looks like that's where TYT is headed now too. Sadly, it seems like
they have become slightly. I wouldn't say for this. All right, in this, what? In this case, I'll jokingly call like what the TYT doing is like Nazgul stuff, like the classic. Why don't if we didn't care for this about social issues for like 5 seconds, we could work with the left and right could work with each other on economic issues, which they mean like left-wing economic issues, then we can fight again. That's what he refers to as like Nazgul grift. Kyle Kalinske is a bit more like, basically they believe that they have take less these are a bunch of lefties that take less that have less importance on social issues and prioritize economic issues. And I believe that the rich evil elite is like using social issues to divide the populace economically or something. But yeah, but like a real Nazgul would be like social conservative, economically left wing. That's not really what Kyle Kalinske or TYT is.
That's where things are headed with TYT, notably in large part because of Ana Kasparian, who is one of the head co-hosts of TYT and has recently gone on quite the rampage of cringe. It basically all started when, out of nowhere, seemingly, she had this big Twitter thread about how she doesn't want to be called a birthing person. Yeah, I guess H3 kind of counts, sort of.
Oh no, having to include like H3. I don't know if he's left wing, but I wouldn't consider him that like political. Like he's like a left-wing ally, but one of the reasons why I didn't like the idea like of Steven Crowder debating H3H3, it was because like H3H3 is more of a culture guy. He doesn't like go into these political studies and stuff versus Steven Crowder, who has way more of an advantage. So when like Steven Crowder complained about like having to like debate Sam Sato, like I don't know, like it feels with like I don't. I'm pretty much disappointed in Steven Crowder at that point. I hated him before, I guess, but like he had the Crowder had a way significant advantage against H3H3. Yeah, and I don't know, like it's no matter. I'll talk about that another time.
Which is really weird because birthing person's just legal terminology used in the text of laws to ensure that certain laws that pertain to birth control and abortion can apply to trans men who still have uteruses as well as.
Yeah, but are trans men biological females, and can biological males be pregnant? That's the question.
As cis women.
Like there's a difference between I guess sex and gender, but like gender as defined nowadays is meaningless at this point.
Because if they use wording like birthing person, that's as broad as possible for the law, instead of a super narrow law that could leave a ton of people out of it.
Yeah, but like birthing person could like offend a lot of women that aren't fertile though, so that's kind of a trigger warning. It's it's like what a microaggression.
But I guess that was how Ana Kasparian wanted to start her grift as a conservative commentator. So she started.
Ana Kasparian is not an effing conservative commentator. Like he, like TYT network is still like very like left wing. If you look at like the titles and thumbnails, they're what like yeah, they pretty much like criticize these Trump supporters. Like it's just okay, wait. Yeah, they're doing a very bad job, like just from like the TYT like videos in terms of like appealing to the right and being like conservative commentators.
Starts complaining about the wording of birthing person being disrespectful to women. And like she starts losing her shit about it, and the rest.
I feel like that's a minor like issue. I guess we could like debate that, but I don't understand how. I mean, I do understand, but I don't think I should understand. I don't think I should be able to understand how this became like a major thing. It's just like one effing tweet. Now, I think a more decent critique is like I don't see how Ana Kasparian could have like had this position since I don't know. I feel like she would agree with like the birthing person thing. I think Sean basically pointed out that she was being hypocritical, so maybe that could be argued that she's a grifter, but I don't know. I think she's more of an idiot, but that's here and there.
The TYT gang backs her up for some reason. And she's just continuously been making posts and different statements about how sympathetic she is to the right now. And this has all seemed to have mounted up with her leaving the left, it seems. She has just gone the other day. When was this? 2 days ago. She went on a small conservative, I would almost venture to say alt-right.
They did not go. She did not go on a alt-right show. If she did not go on a conservative show, she definitely did not go on an alt-right show. But yeah, this I guess that goes to my title.
Political show called Adam and Sitch, or Sitch and Adam. You can see she's appeared here as a guest. Now, Sitch and Adam make some top-tier content, such as Sean destroys leftist on Timcast on poverty causing crime, because of course they don't believe that poverty causes crime because they believe race does.
Okay, that's a effing straw man. Like and that, I mean, right. So basically, Sean's argument is pretty much that during, like, say, the '60s, when these is from like the '60s to the '70s and like '80s, like American incomes went up, like people became less poor, but crime also rose. So it wasn't a, like, good correlation between crime and poverty. Yeah, and if you talk about, like, and also that Sean claims that crime can actually increase poverty because higher crime means higher costs to protect your private property. Yeah, and that makes it, like, less viable to invest in businesses, and this cuts down wealth creation and makes you, poor, or more poor.
Leftists seethe over charity stream because the money was given to other people. H3H3 versus Just Pearly Things. Should women be allowed to vote? Just Pearly Things misquotes Thomas Sowell and doubles down on H3H.
Yeah, this is PSA Sitch criticizing a dumb, like, a person. I don't know if she's on the right, but like, let's say for the sake of this, that she's on the right. Like, it, they aren't, like, conservatives. I'd say a better, like, a I think a better argument would be that they, respond almost exclusively against the left. So I guess they're more like centrists who believe the left are more dangerous than the right. But I guess that's more of, like, an honest, like, opinion interpretation of them, I guess.
So this is them, like, coping about Thomas Sowell being a piece of shit and
Xanderhal being so racist. Why are you insulting a black man like that? You're only insulting him because of racism. It's just
H3H3 calling that out. Non-binary rant.
Oh yeah, but like H3 like did well against, like, Pearly Things. Like he deserves to win, and I say that as someone who hates H3H3. Yeah, like she gives such some of the worst, like, arguments, like, ever, and I feel like she doesn't think through her argumentation. It's just annoying. I do not understand why Lauren Chen likes her.
No one has the no one has to respect your aesthetic. Sorry, the text is small. Schenk versus Destiny, who was responsible for Kenosha.
Oh yeah, this was a, like, recent video as well, like, Shank versus TYT. I even, like, covered it in a previous stream. And, like, Shank still believes the dumb, like, Rittenhouse, like, lies, and you know I think that, like, pretty much, like, proves it was like that. TYT is pretty left wing.
Gross leftist cares more about policing hashtags than violent crime victim. Is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse good? Is it woke? Is it both? So, like, this is unironically the level of engagement they do, and Ana Kasparian has gone on their show.
Okay, let's see. Hmm.
I think it's pretty clear what message you're supposed to get from this, right? I think it's pretty
No.
clear what
No,
message
please tell
that
us.
the left is supposed to get from her doing this. Rent prices in LA are really expensive. The TYT studio is, of course, in Los Angeles.
Effing rent control and effing stupid zoning laws. We need to build more, like, houses in, these, cities, like in London and, the blue states. Like, increase the housing supply so you can push housing prices down.
Those prices are going up. I get it. They got to follow the money. There's never been much money in it for the left. Unironically,
I don't know. Right now, I think there's, like, maybe less, money, like, for the cultural right, because because of, like, cancel culture and stuff. Like, it's becoming less economically convenient for them to, like, talk about their views. A lot of them are being demonetized. Actually, yeah, like, I think I heard that Candace Owens and Michael Knowles was demonetized a month ago or something. Like, I mean, Sean did a video of it, but I haven't, like, seen it. I haven't checked that. I assume it's true, but like, but I haven't. But I can't like. But I don't know if it's true. Like you can check it for yourselves. But like, right wingers YouTubers almost always like demonetized a lot on YouTube. So I mean, a lot of lefties do. I think a lot of controversial content is, but like the idea that there's a lot of money, easy money for like right wingers on YouTube is not. It's not you know it's not doesn't it's not borne out by the facts.
Ironically, being a lefty political commentator, just the idea of grifting as like an ex left wing conservative is like the dark side, a constant pull on you that requires diligence and like a soul and a moral conscience to fight against. But I don't think you.
It's funny he says this because he later talks about some of his favorite lefties and how he loves them so much. He just loves people like the Surf.
You guys understand how quickly, like, how much money and like relevance it would bring to my channel, Vosh's channel, Demon Mama's channel, Keffels' channel, any of these people, if they came out as like ex left-wing conservatives now, they would blow.
I mean, the amount of like ex-conservative like lefties are like blowing up and getting a lot of like traction. Like I think Hunter Avalon like got like nuked, but that's mostly because he was very like big channel like and then like gone down. But I don't know, like a lot of I guess it's I should know here. No, I retract that point. Like, it's very tough to be like a conservative to lefty because, like, half the left will still eat you alive for being a former conservative, and like your conservative audience, like 90% of them will like leave you. So, but if you're like a small like lefty, but switch sides to like conservatism, then you'll gain a lot. But if you're a big lefty and switch sides, it's going to be very like tough, mostly because you're going to lose a big chunk of your audience, similar to Hunter Avalon.
Up. There would be a media circus for them. That's how it works.
There might be a media circus, but there's also negative like media traction.
Seems like Anna's already starting that.
Okay.
Oh my days, he's 7. Actually, you know what? I think that's a criticism of me as well. He's 7 minutes and he hasn't started the video yet.
Hey now, it's your boy PSA Sitch here with another Sunday show with everyone's favorite Supreme Court enthusiast, Adam Frenda.
Oh yeah. I've been reading up on the Supreme Court, Sitch. I'm learning so much about how our country functions. It's amazing. And we have, look, a special guest with us here today, Ana Kasparian, co-host of The Young Turks. Do you want to introduce yourself? I mean, I feel like everyone, our audience definitely knows who you are, but you're probably doing other things as well.
At the moment, I'm not. I'm mostly focusing on TYT. But yeah, I'm the executive producer and co-host of The Young Turks, and have been since 2007. And I've done other things on the side at various points of my career, but for now, that's the main focus.
Okay, so we're very excited to have this conversation. We started talking a little bit before the show, and you seem open to talking about a lot of things. You seem to be going through kind of a political transformation, evolution. I don't really know the right word to call it, but I'll let you talk about that. But first,
I just realized these guys are like offensively boring. So I'm.
It takes one to know one, but then again, that same criticism applies to me. And 1.25. Yeah, I'm putting you on 1 point. I'm gonna put you on 1.25 speed.
Going to go ahead and speed this up by 1.5.
First of all, people want to know, because you did mention in our little chat in DMs that I was wrong about the Daily Wire thing. Now, I make predictions on the show all the time, and I've never been wrong before. So people, I've been making jokes about you might end up at the Daily Wire. That's not true?
No. It's funny because I'm going through something very real.
Nah, she's taking TYT with her.
And very sincere, and it's uncomfortable.
I don't know. The TYT is pretty left wing. Like Damage Report, like well, they still I don't know. Like there's a lot more division, but like Rashad Riley, Rishi, Damage Reports, John Idarola, that's still pretty left wing. Like even like Cenk has some dumb like left wing talking points and beliefs. they're all pretty like left wing, but like this new shift, like maybe Ana Kasparian could like turn more like right wing, but like I don't know, that's still a stretch even then.
And it has not been an enjoyable process for me. It's been difficult. And so the internet being what it is, all sorts of people from all sorts of political ideologies have theories on like what's actually happening with me, right? And the main accusation, both from the left and the right, is that I'm grifting, which is hilarious because literally nothing has changed about my work.
And from the right, nobody on
people on the right would say that, but like not as many people
on the right is accusing her of grifting. I've not seen a single person on the right accuse her of being a grifter. I mean, we know that she's grifting because we know, like, I've seen Ana Kasparian explain why the perspectives that she...
like I don't. She's well, I don't. Okay, so he basically thinks she's grifting because he thinks that she's seen the data. She believes she's seen the superior argumentation of the left, and that like, you know, that she shouldn't be like, if she was rational, she wouldn't be like leaving the left because she clearly has the better ideas. But like I've gone through like some of the data myself, and also like Ana Kasparian like doesn't like do good research, and I still think she doesn't. I don't see how that's like changed. Like she she's I don't know, like she may still like change her beliefs based on bad research. But yeah, that's you like Xanderhal believes that she's actually like smart, like when she was a like lefty. Yeah, but like I've made mistakes. She's made mistakes. Xanderhal, I assume, has made mistakes when it comes to like political research. I mean, like I'm assuming Xanderhal knows he's made mistakes and had like bad positions held when he was younger.
she now holds are wrong very, very competently, and reference like research and evidence to prove that. She knows that she's full of shit. We know she's grifting. She hasn't like forgotten the
citation needed. Like, do you have like evidence? I'm sure you probably would try to show this evidence in other videos, though. So I guess maybe I'll look for that
information that she's learned over the last like decade plus of political commentary. She is choosing to forego the fact that she knows what the truth is, and yeah. What are the odds she's getting divorced and making it everyone's problem, and that's always how this shit goes?
No, this isn't a
that's
Steven Crowder
weird. No, I just think she's like wealthy.
Yeah, it's not a Steven Crowder situation. She is not wealthy. Like, I mean, TYT is a business, and as many of my audience know, businesses like struggle. Like what? It takes on average 3 years for a business to make a profit, and even then, like in the first year, like what is it 30% of businesses already fail in the first year, I think. Like in 5 years, I think 50% of businesses fail. In 10 years, I think 70% of businesses fail. Like when I say years, this is the number of years after starting said business. I've gone through these stats before, but yeah, like running a business is hard. I wouldn't be surprised if TYT isn't profitable, especially according to Stephen Michael Davis. They make a lot of like investments. They spend faster than they save. They make major investments, like, you know, hiring like a new reporter, but like because they're smaller compared to like MSNBC, they can't do it as efficiently. Hence, they can't, you know, they aren't profitable enough to like finance, you know, their new investments in the long term. So they have to like cut it down again.
And she's gotten older, and so she feels like, okay, something
she'll probably gotten a bit richer, but the thing is, she's getting like, he's gonna argue that her being taxed more is the reason she's going more left wing, but I'd argue that okay, I'd basically argue that she's finally starting to like feel the consequences of her policies. Like when you have no money and like, you know, or like have very little money, but that you have so little money that you aren't going to get taxed. You don't feel the consequences of your policies. She's feeling the consequences of like her policies, and it's not even like her policy. She wants even more taxation, and she's starting to like think like, because the thing is like Ana Kasparian isn't that rich. Like a lot of like middle income earners get overtaxed.
To remember is,
especially by state taxes. The like federal taxes, like the Republicans could like change that, but like you can still like taxed by state, I guess.
people do get like more selfish as they get older. It could literally be
Fair enough.
that. It could literally be that she's getting older and she's, gotten more money, saved up, she's more well off. Taxes are
saved up, like after like grueling like hard like work. Like she's not a streamer like you, like and I mean like it's much she has to leave her home like by a long grueling like journey, a long commute to a job, to to deal with a lot of like criticism, like has to like do a research, has to do a lot of prep, like has to be well dressed, has to be professional, and you are just like making money by like sitting in your room doing like streams, not even like editing your videos. But okay, I'll admit Xanderhal himself isn't like that probable. At least the last time he talked about it, last time I saw him, it was like at 50k subscribers, and he talked about how like his channel is like dying now, and because like the 2020 election is done at that time, and he himself is probably not getting much money from his streaming as well, but he's doing it way more comfortably, while Ana works way harder than him at her job.
Starting to affect her more hard because she's got more money, and she's kind of thinking, no, I don't want the value, like the policies that I advocate for to pass, because those are going to affect me negatively. Maybe that's where
maybe her policies are stupid. Have you ever thought of that? Because like she might be slightly upper income, but if the taxes are that high on someone who works that hard, then she may rethink like if these taxes are really worth it, if it's hurting normal ordinary people as well.
She's gotten to the point where it is most beneficial to her to be a conservative on multiple fronts, like both to advocate for conservatism because there's more money in that, and to fight against leftist policies or progressive policies from passing, because those would negatively affect her as someone who, as it would seem, is probably more wealthy.
Not that wealthy.
I'm in the same place. I have the same audience. The audience doesn't like some of what I have to say or some of the new conclusions I've come to. And so I wanted to kind of set the record straight about what I have personally experienced. I don't know what my political labels are at this point, right? Because I feel like I don't really fit anywhere. And that's just full honesty. It's, again, very uncomfortable for me. And I want to say that out of any point in my adult life, this is probably the point where I'm the most malleable and open to new information because of what I've experienced.
Wait, Ana has mentioned that her taxes have been going up recently? That's hilarious. Yeah, that's because she's making more money
over the last few years.
Or maybe the tax policy in a state sucks. It'll also be that she's making more money, but like how much more money? If she's just made like 5k more, like I don't know, like say 40k to like 45k or something, I'm not sure like what the like marginal like tax laws are, but she gets like taxed like 10% more. That's gonna like piss her off, mostly because it's such a marginal increase. Like
I can get into details about that in just a moment, but that was the reason why I told Adam that no, this isn't like a Daily Wire thing. I have no interest in working at the Daily Wire. I have no interest in leading TYT. If anything, I just feel a responsibility to kind of correct what I got wrong in the past to the best of my ability and just do better moving forward. And
correct what she got wrong in the past? Wait, she wants to destroy her old legacy from advocating for progressivism too.
Because
that's
because some of her positions are dumb. Like some of her old positions are dumb. Like the one on Carl Rittenhouse. Actually, I don't know, Xanderhal actually is kind of right on the Carl Rittenhouse thing. He's also kind of wrong.
Crazy, dude. She's ashamed of her past progressive beliefs. And what she...
Yeah, and Hunter Avalon is ashamed of his past conservative beliefs. What's your point?
Used to advocate for. That's crazy, dude. There were so many people in the chat before stream went live thinking I was trolling or clickbaiting by saying that she was leaving the left, but like she's fully sold out.
No,
I'm glad I was never much of a fan of TYT.
No, it's some positions, and not all of the positions, you imbecile. Like, you're still being hyperbolic. Since she doesn't have all her, like, she, like, left the left, that she she didn't say that she's she has like no position. Sorry, she didn't say that she's left the left. That she didn't say that she has no more left wing positions. That she's fully right wing. That she's changed her mind on some left wing positions or like a few left wing positions, and a lot of the online left have gone ballistic on that.
Because I feel like I'd feel very betrayed right now if I was somebody who's like watched TYT for a decade, and now I'm just seeing as like they all forego what they damn well know is the truth in exchange for money. Just follow.
If they had the right positions, they didn't arrive at it correctly because their data and research just sucks. And following the money is, the right wing isn't that profitable. Like there is like demand. The money would derive more from like consumer demand rather than like big evil rich investors controlling everything and capital.
In the cash.
Reason why I've been into
And you know what's so sad and embarrassing about it too? Is that this is on its way out. I don't think that these boomers have seen the pattern that like I've seen and that I think a lot of Zoomers have seen with like the political like cycle online.
Oh my days! This is where like Xanderhal kind of debunks his like point.
Fine. We're seeing like the end, like it's on its way out. The like current age of conservative domination of culture, and I don't think the next one's.
Then that in that case, conservative, being conservative is not very profitable, and like even if TYT and Ana being like chromely evil capitalists are trying to like profit off like a trend, like then it's not that profitable to be leaving the left anymore, at least.
Going to be anywhere near as
assuming Xanderhal is right.
Big as this one. And it's such a bad time to jump on the grift train. Like, it's such a bad time. Andrew Tate is about to be convicted.
I don't care for like Andrew Tate that much. I haven't like looked into like the trial I put online that apparently the trial's a sham, but I don't know. I don't trust or like Andrew Tate either. Like I'm not that interested in looking into it that much. Maybe I'll respond to some of Andrew Tate's like arguments since I don't like his manosphere stuff.
And he's going to be like held in confinement.
Okay, turns out I have to like leave now. All right, so what we stopped at 13 minutes 21 seconds. I guess this is a good time to stop. Thanks to everyone for watching. I guess I'll do like a part 2 to this stream. Since it's a 23-minute video, like 13 minutes. I go on for 13 minutes. But yeah, I guess see you guys later, and yeah, bye for now. Bye. Oh, I would actually also please subscribe and probably like this stream, as it would really help me in the algorithm. And also I released a video responding to Rose and it's like 36 counties video yesterday, so please watch that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and bye. See you later.